Across Southeast Asia, hidden behind modern skylines and border towns, a vast criminal empire is thriving in plain sight. Entire cities built not for trade or tourism, but for deception. These are the scam factories of the 21st century, where trafficked workers are forced to steal billions from victims worldwide. In the past 2 weeks, authorities struck back, launching massive raids in both Myanmar and Cambodia. But what they uncovered goes far beyond one country. It's a story of corruption, technology, and survival inside the world's newest billion-dollar economy. At the heart of the Myanmar-Thailand border lies KK Park, a fortress-like city once controlled by criminal militias. Inside its walls, thousands of young men and women, many from China, Vietnam, and the Philippines, were forced to run fake investment platforms, crypto exchanges, and romance scams. Last week, explosions rocked the compound. Smoke poured across the jungle. Soldiers advanced as trafficked workers escaped through side gates, many barefoot and malnourished. When troops entered, they found server racks, confiscated Starlink terminals, and lists of international victims worth millions. But days later, reports surfaced that new compounds nearby had already resumed operations. Proof that KK Park was only one head of a much larger beast. Hundreds of kilometers away, Cambodian police stormed another complex just outside Phnom Penh. Inside, over 100 foreign nationals were discovered. Indonesians, Malaysians, Taiwanese, all victims of human trafficking forced into online scams. Victims described 18-hour workdays, beatings for failure, and no pay. Dozens of ringleaders were arrested, and South Korean and ASEAN investigators have now joined the probe. Cambodia's government, under mounting pressure, promised to dismantle what it called a national embarrassment. Yet experts warn, these compounds operate with the protection of local officials and powerful investors, making true reform difficult. Analysts estimate that cyber fraud networks across Southeast Asia generate over $12 billion per year. Their operations are highly professional. Corporate-style offices, multilingual call centers, and recruiters who lure young workers with fake job ads for tech support or digital marketing. Once inside, passports are confiscated and escape is nearly impossible. Money flows through crypto exchanges, remittance networks, and even online gaming platforms, making tracking nearly impossible. Some investigators now describe the region as a parallel digital economy, one built entirely on lies. And behind it all, intelligence reports point to organized crime groups with political ties, turning cyber fraud into a hybrid of corruption and commerce. The crackdown is now spreading across the region. ASEAN leaders met last month to coordinate a joint task force on human trafficking and digital crime. Thailand and Laos have increased patrols along the Mekong River. Vietnam and Indonesia are tracing recruiters operating through Telegram and Facebook. But progress is slow, and many fear that without international sanctions or cross-border prosecutions, the syndicates will simply relocate. For governments struggling with unemployment and corruption, these criminal enterprises are both a crisis and, in some places, an open secret. Behind every scam text, there's a victim, and often a captive forced to send it. Survivors describe being locked in small rooms, electrocuted for refusing orders, and forced to scam strangers to stay alive. NGOs say thousands remain trapped across Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. Their faces will never appear on headlines, but their stories drive the urgency behind the ASEAN crackdown. Experts now warn that as law enforcement tightens borders, syndicates are moving online, creating virtual scam centers using AI, deepfakes, and social media bots. The next phase of this war won't be fought with raids, but with algorithms. And unless governments and tech companies unite, Southeast Asia risks becoming ground zero for the next generation of cybercrime. The fight against Asia's scam empires is far from over, but every story told brings more attention to the victims and more pressure on those in power to act. More ASEAN updates coming daily. Appreciate you watching. Drop a like and sub if you want more content like this.